Let's take a couple of moments now and we'll walk through the AM/FM radio section of Pioneer's DEH-X6900BT. Even though your particular in-dash receiver may or may not have a CD slot across the top like this one, the on-screen and button operation is identical for the following Pioneer models: MVH-X580BS, DEH-X6800BS, DEH-X6900BT, DEH-X7800BHS, DEH-X8800BHS. So I can get to the AM/FM tuner by touching the source button here. That brings us around to the radio or the AM/FM tuner, and we immediately tune in a channel and begin to play a station. Now, to tune in the next available frequency, I can use the arrow keys here. Right now we're on 89.3. If I touch the arrow key once, we go to 89.5, 89.7. But if I press and hold the arrow key for a moment, we'll seek to the next available radio station and tune in something. Press and hold, and we'll seek to the next available station. So to create a radio station preset, I'm on FM band number 1 right here, and I have 6 radio station presets to choose from. And if I tune in a radio station, like 92.1, I can create radio station preset number 1 by pressing and holding this button for a couple of seconds till it stops flashing on the screen. And now 92.1 is locked in on FM band number 1, radio station preset number 1. Now I have 6 radio station presets on FM1. If I touch the band button here, I switch to FM2, and that gives me 6 more radio station presets. Touch the band button again, that switches to FM3 for 6 more radio station presets for a total of 18 FM radio station presets. Touch band one more time, that brings us around to AM, where I have 6 AM radio station presets. And if I touch band one more time, that comes back around to my original FM number 1. If I touch the magnifying glass button, that'll bring up my radio station preset list. And I can turn through the available radio station presets and choose one to tune in. If I touch in on the volume control and we go to the function menu, here's function and press enter. We have a couple of things to work with. First is BSM, or best station memory, on FM band number 1. Now this will work on FM band 1, 2, or 3, and will also work on AM. And if I touch in on the volume control here, best station memory will scan through the entire FM spectrum and lock in the 6 strongest radio stations that you're receiving right now. This is great for a road trip. When the radio stations become weak, you can use the BSM function to find the strongest radio stations around. Let's go back to our function menu here. And we'll roll over to the next setting, which is our local setting. And right now, local is switched off. And I have a couple of settings for local. If I touch in, I can switch local on to level number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Touch that in one more time, and local will be switched off. Now, local is a filter to filter out the very weakest radio stations. Right now, when I use the arrow keys and seek to the next available radio station, with local switched off, we'll stop on every noise on the dial, even the very weakest stations, and Supertuner will attempt to tune in that very distant and weak station. If you want to filter out some of those very weak stations, you can switch local level onto number 1, and now some of those weak stations will be filtered out. As we go up through local level number 2, 3, or 4, now the weaker stations are filtered out, and only the very strongest stations will stop Supertuner as we are seeking to the next available station. So for right now, I'm going to switch local back onto level number 1, and we'll go back and roll over to our next setting here, which is our seek mode. Right now we're in manual seek mode, and that means when we press the button here, press and hold for a moment, we will manually seek to the next available radio station. If I press in on the volume control, we can use the arrow keys here to seek to the next preset, and we'll switch that back to the manual mode. We'll roll over to the next setting, which brings us back around to BSM, or best station memory. And when you're done making your adjustments here, you can use the band button to escape.